When Jesus says that he is the vine and we are the branches, it is the reminder that we are connected to a powerful story. Not only the story of following Jesus, but each other's story. We're interconnected as a community to inspire and encourage one another towards hope and peace and joy. It's why I love story, even our family's story. We started walking in these doors 30 years ago at Kensington. My parents dragged us through them, and we didn't know all that God would do in and through the community this place created. It was through the generosity of people before us that we entered into small groups, student ministries, and had our lives transformed in following Jesus. It's why when you consider a year-end Christmas gift, you're a part of generational impact. You're impacting families that you may never meet, but you will have an impact on their lives and the generations to come. I think about my friend Mike and Linda's story and how God used this place to inspire them and the generations that came after them.
I'm Mike Nelson, and I've been coming to Kensington since September 30th, 1990, day one.
And I'm Linda Nelson, and I've been coming since summer of '93. So the better part of my childhood I spent in California, and then I spent the summer here in Michigan visiting my mom. And then I started going to Primetime, and Primetime was singles ministry, and that is where I in turn met Mike.
I memorized her phone number, 626-3193, but didn't have the guts to call her until one day I was driving to work and my brakes went out, and I had to limp my way home. And I thought, what am I going to do today? Oh, 626-3193. And we went on our first date October 8th, 1993.
October 8th.
October 8th, 1993. Right. And we saw the Joy Luck Club with her mom and dad who were divorced. Weirdest date ever. So Kensington started in 1990. And at that point in my life, I was pretty lost. I dropped out of college. I was living at home. In April of 1990, my mom passed away, which was 5 months before Kensington launched. My brother Mark was one of the founders, so I heard about Kensington starting up, and I was like, oh, this is interesting, kind of curious. And then my other brother Dave, he was hired in as the youth pastor. So I was watching this happen, and I was like, this sounds interesting. I think I might try it. But at that time in my life, I was lonely, working as in a dead-end construction job. I was drinking a lot and just bitter. But I really looked at church. It was only for a select few that God really liked. Like if God wired certain people for church and other people he didn't, and I was just one of those people that didn't belong. One of the things that piqued my interest was actually meeting Dave and Steve, and they were different than the church people that I had grown up with. They talked normal, they were fun, and I felt there was this commonality, and I'm like, this is different. This is just something I'd never experienced before. And so I went to the very first service, September 30th, 1990. I was 22 years old. I had a hangover, and I did this thing of, I'm just gonna help set up chairs. And they did this service that was totally different than anything I've ever seen before. And that kind of started me on the journey at Kensington.
Kensington was very topical when there was a lot of teaching, so I felt like I was learning a lot, not only like with Jesus, but life in general. And church started to shine light in places that church had never been real or open or understanding of, and which was just like how you do daily life with Jesus.
I think that's one of the things with Kensington that was so helpful in my journey is being involved. My day was like 5:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. and I loved every minute of it. And the singles group was a huge piece of that. And at the pinnacle of it, there was 300 to 400 people that would show up at the Troy High School cafeteria for our church service, basically for the singles group. And that was a huge impact for both of us. Mm-hmm.
It just, I think, got really woven deeply in our fabric of our family, was our community and our church, and just what Jesus was doing through Kensington was just tremendous.
Through the singles ministry, through Kensington's weekend services, I felt like the way that he wired me and the way he created me, I was okay. And that was enough for me at that time. Like being loved, I wasn't even there yet. I just wanted to know if I was okay. And I was okay. And so that really was a huge piece of my journey with Jesus. Is like I had to get over the fact that I wasn't good enough. I just wasn't good enough. I wasn't right. And it took a while to get over that hump. And God used Kensington in a huge way to show me that, no, he created you, Mike. You're okay. So all 5 of our kids were baptized here. 2 of my daughters were married here. We had a funeral service for her mom, her dad, and her sister. We're all done here. And so then I look at our kids right now, and trust me, we were not perfect at all. Like we had, especially the teenage years, it was rough. Scary at times, to be honest with you. All 5 are following Jesus right now. All 5 are involved in their church. All 5 serve. All 5 tithe. And we've had 2 or 3 of our grandchildren dedicated and watching those. So when I think about that, from a 22-year-old drunk kid who was miserable and lonely to now get to experience his grandchildren being dedicated to a church, that's only Jesus. I had nothing to do with that. And God used Kensington. A huge piece of that.